What is up? Welcome to the Creative Hunter podcast. Your host, as always, Logan Romney. This is episode 36. This episode is with Gabe Stoll. Gabe works at Thalete. Thalete makes clothing company. I've already done an episode with Gabe quite a while back, and we're just running it again. This is an episode highly centered on camera gear, on filming hunts. Gabe is a creative over there at Thalete, so he does a bunch of creative work. He did a couple films this fall he talks about, and we talk a little bit about Thalete and kind of some changes that's happening in their brand as the year progresses and during this new year, 2025. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy it. If you're a camera guy, this is a great podcast for you. Gabe is just like me. He nerds out on everything. So we get into some nitty gritty on camera gear. But thanks you guys for listening. Hope it's a good one. We'll catch you later. How's work been so recently? Probably been busy, huh? Just getting off the kind of busy season.
Oh man, it's been insane. I think this year for at least has been like the best year performing so far. It's a I always tell people it's great working in the outdoor industry, but also it's kind of painful because rut is here and we want to like it's at least in Tennessee we want to hunt the rut, but it's like the best time to sell, and so we are. It's like you want to be out there creating content at the same time. Like you can't really hunt. You have to create content for selling, and so it's a toss up. I mean, I shot a doe. Praise the Lord, I shot a doe. It's first year I shot in Tennessee, since the last 4 years. But like I still want to shoot that buck. It's in haunting me, but I'll get it at some point. I'll know that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, dude, it's so true. Like, work if you want to work in the hunting industry, you gotta be prepared to do some work during
Oh
the
my gosh,
season because
yeah.
that's
Well,
when it is. That's the busy. Like, that's if you're gonna. That's when work is.
it's so true. And
And
the funny thing is too is like I still love it. It's still like a hobby, definitely a hobby of mine. I love
yeah,
every second of it. But like after working hunting all day, the last thing I want to do is go out hunting in the weekend. I'd rather be home. I love it. I love the
yeah,
outdoors, but it's like, okay, I've hunted and worked this whole week. I might as well stay home with my family, which is, yeah, it's a funny way. Cause like, growing up hunting your whole life is that's all you live for. At least when I was a kid, that's all I lived for was to be back out in the woods. So, uh, it's definitely strange to be on this end of it. So,
yeah,
well, how
yeah,
you been,
dude.
man?
Um, Good. Yeah, it's been good, dude. Just got off the holidays. We just got home yesterday. We've been gone for like 3 weeks traveling to in-laws and my family. My sister got
Hmm.
married, so we were like all
Oh,
over the place.
congrats. Yeah.
But but yeah, we're finally back, and so it's good to just like relax for a second and just get some work done because I kind of feel like I'm slacking, even though like I've been taking time with family, you know,
Hmm.
but it's good. So I'm excited to kind of get back into it. But I got school starting next week, so it'll be just kind of back to the
Awesome.
grind again
Yeah,
for a few
that's really
months.
back to reality, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You live the hunting
So
season.
back to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good. I finished school in July, so like basically I'll
Wow.
have all of hunting season next fall to just go do everything I want to do. So
Man,
hopefully it all
that's
works out.
great. Now, remind me again what you're going to school for. School for I can quite recall from last
Yeah,
conversation
no,
now.
you're good. It's communications, so like
Communications, that's right.
digital,
Yeah.
social media, um, all that fun stuff, and it's good. I enjoy it, and I like want to work in it someday, but I'm like really tired of the school right now. I'm
Well,
sure
yeah,
you know how it is.
just
So
like anything, you're if you're in it enough, it's like okay, I'm kind of getting tired of this. I want to do something different. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, but it's not bad, and it's kind of nice. You could, like things get mixed up as every class you take, you learn more stuff and work through it. So it's good.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good, dude. So let's kind of like recap the season for you if you want, just for fun, just to
Yeah.
kind of like give everyone an idea of what your life looked like the last like 4 months.
Yeah.
I don't know, like some things you learned. Just let's hear about it.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't think it was anything as good as your season. That's at least hunting wise. You really struck gold this year from what I saw. The mule deer
I
and
had a
the
good
elk,
season.
and
It
yeah,
worked
it was
out, you
pretty
know.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had one doe. I'll summarize my personal season. One doe, and that was fun. Got the new bow. I got the Matthews lift, and with the new dialed sight, and that was
nice.
fun getting out there and whacking it. So it felt great. Like okay, I'm a hunter. I can do this. I can provide for my family if I need to. But yeah,
Yeah,
that was fun. But yeah, it was a great year season. I started off in Colorado in September with some buddies. That was first elk hunt for me. That was amazing. I don't think I was quite prepared physically for how tough it was. Being from Tennessee, we don't like. I grew up in my dad's from Colorado, so I grew up in Colorado, like kind of being out there. So I'm kind of used to the altitude, but carrying a heavy pack, climbing these mountains, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. And we hiked some
yeah,
rough terrain too, but it was fun. Like and talk to my buddies that we still like saying that was the most brutal but most fun experience of our lives. And so it was a lot of hard hunting, but then we ended up shooting a cow, which it was the over last year the over counter tag. So like we're walking away with something. We don't want to. They're paying good money, and we want to walk away with some meat. So end up shooting a cow. And the fun thing with that project, that was a kind of a passion ish kind of project. It still did it for Fleet. It was like a mini doc about my good buddy of mine. If you've watched it, he is a stage 4 cancer survivor and really is an awesome guy. And he has his own brand too called Undefeated Man. I'll give a shameless plug for him, but he has a lot of just protein powders and essential stuff that you can EAs. I think he's doing creatine and stuff like that. So for working out, it's great. But he's really has come full like circle, like full 180, being like I think he was like 120 pounds. He's a big guy. He's like 6'4", 6'5", and like he was just deathly thin, and like was on the verge of death. And it was a miracle. God just completely saved his life, and he's back healthy. Like we're hiking the mountains, of Colorado, like elk hunting. That's insane for someone for what he's been through. So just being able to tell his story. And just as an encouragement to everyone out there. So that was fun because that was my first ever documentary style production and learned a lot from it. Walked away like we got all the footage, brought to the editing room, and I was like, oh man, I don't have enough. Even though I had hours upon hours of interview footage of
yeah,
B-roll, I'm like, okay. And but it was really good because I mean, you got to start somewhere. And so looking back, I was like, I wish it was better, but I don't know how I could have done it better with what I had. So just, I think it really is more planning. And that was a one-man project. That was all me. So it was from the whole elk hunt to coming back and interviewing him, then putting it all together. It was took longer because the first time I go away, you try to figure it out. But it was a lot of fun, and the thing was well received, which is always a compliment. That took some. I was like, I love the criticism. Like sometimes it hurts when people say, "Oh, that's not good." I'm like, man, I spent a lot of time on this, but at the same time,
yeah,
I do love the criticism. Like, okay, the creative criticism, I can like, what can I take from this and learn and bring it to the next project. So that's a lot of fun, and I think that was the biggest thing. That took a lot of work, like filming in September, and then I try to remember we released it in December. So I spent like a solid between having to make content for Fleet and the whole advertising and like releasing products and making YouTube videos and all that. I think I spent a solid like 2 months like editing that, and that was a lot of work. But it was amazing, and I love seeing it all come together. So most of my season was that. So didn't get to do much else, but it was still incredible though.
yeah. That's cool. So with that hunt, was that your first like Western hunt, or have you been
Yeah,
out
first
before?
ever Western hunt. Yeah, which is so
Nice.
cool. Yeah, that was quite the experience.
That's cool, dude. Colorado is awesome.
It's so
Like, I mean,
beautiful.
I went once this year. This is my first time, and I was just filming a project, but it was like the coolest place ever. I want to go back so bad.
Yeah, we
Um,
originally hunted outside of Aspen, and it's just the nights were
oh
dead
yeah,
silent. It's cold. It just made you so, like even like you were hungry and tired and sore. You just woke up and like, yeah, you feel invigorated just because you're in the mountains. It's amazing.
yeah, it's so cool. What were some of your biggest takeaways going from filming a lot of whitetail hunts and Midwest stuff, and then coming out west and filming a hunt in the mountains? Like, what were some differences and things that people could learn from?
Yeah, the biggest thing is uh, be careful how much gear you bring with you. My pack was way
Yeah,
too heavy. Uh, as I filmed the R6, I had 7200 and then 1535 RF lens. And then I brought an R5C and a Sigma 50 millimeter just for photos and for video. Like one of the other guys went with us. He's wanting to get into photography, so I said, hey, use this camera. I ended up carrying like packing up in there up into the mountains, and he kind of carried it around when we were hunting. That was like it was painful having to carry all those extra batteries and the extra camera and the extra lens, but I think it was worth it. Like looking at the photos now, looking through the album, like okay, it was worth it. But in the
yeah,
moment, I was dying. But
yeah,
so that was the biggest takeaway is like really understanding how you have to pack. Like as a camera guy, as a cam op, you think you can like, oh, I'll take this lens, that lens, kind of prepare, but you really have to. It's because it's tough. You can't really plan your shots or plan your storyboard because it is a hunt, first of all. But then also, like, you don't really know what you're going into. Like, I didn't really know exactly the setting. Like, what is the woods thick? Is it pretty wide open? The temperature you don't really know fully. You're really going in blind, so kind of having a mental preparation of sorts. I think I want to. Now that I know, it's always good. It's you got to have the first one, of course. Like you can't always be ready, but I think that's the biggest. I think one of the bigger takeaways is understanding how to pack and how to film. I love my big camera rig, but I knew that wasn't possible. So learning how to master the R6. I spent like a solid few months just filming the R6, learning how to maximize, like finding where my camera settings start peaking and like I'm losing those highlights first, and also the shadows, and unlocking some of the knowledge of what the camera's capable of doing. I think it really produced a quality picture I'm really proud of. Like a lot of these shots I've gotten with the R6, I'm really proud of them. They color grade so well, and like there's times now I'm like, oh, I'll just use the R6 instead of the R5Z because I can kind of match the color profile now. So that was really cool. Uh, let's see what else from that hunt. Trying to think. It was amazing.
I want to actually have
Yeah,
a question about this.
I go
So,
for it.
like you say, matching color profiles between R5C and R6. Is there a big difference between those two?
So there's not a huge difference. There's
Okay.
the biggest difference, I think. I'm trying to remember the full settings. The R5C has like a 10-bit 422. I can't remember, I forget. There's a little bit of a difference whenever I'm
Gotcha.
color grading them. Uh,
Okay.
I know if I did like a C-Log 2, I have done C-Log 2 and R6, and there's a substantial difference there with color grading, and I've been able to match it,
Yeah.
but it took some time to create my presets. Now I got my presets. I'll slap them on, of course, but that was probably the biggest big was the biggest thing. But just learning your gear, because I feel like too for a time I was like, oh, R6 is it's not that good. Yeah, for video there's so many better quality cameras, but now I'm like, okay, actually it's pretty daggone good. I've got some awesome footage from the R6 in the mountains, so I kind of proud of myself. Like, yeah, I can do this. It's not just the camera; it is the camera operator.
Yeah. Yeah. I did some filming and stuff with the R6 this year as well. And then I paired it with the R5. And yeah, it works freaking good. Like I would recommend it to anyone, especially just because it's a
Absolutely.
little cheaper price point. so
Yes,
you can get into
especially
it a little
now
easier.
too, with all the new cameras, you can really get it quite cheap. If you're getting like the first
Yeah,
uh, version too, just like the R6, not even the Mark II version, you can
right.
really get it at a great price. And yeah, it's so capable of anything you need. So yeah,
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. What was your battery setup? Did you just pack a bunch of batteries or did you bring
Yeah.
chargers? I people ask
So,
me about this all the time.
oh, I know, and I was really trying to figure out what I was gonna do because um we didn't really know exactly where we were hunting. Like, so we had a few options driving out there. We were looking at I can say now because like there's no over the counter stuff and so it's not a big deal. But we were
Yeah,
looking at 471 and Unit 6, and there's two completely different like areas. Like Unit 6 is right up at the Wyoming border, and like you're walking a few miles, you're still coming back to the truck. And so that's kind of an option. Like, oh, if I need to, I can always start the truck and charge batteries. But for Unit
yeah,
471, like you're packing everything in for like 6 or 7 miles of hiking. And so we ended up going to 471, the hard one first. And uh, I packed in just a ton of like the LP6 batteries. Just
yeah,
I probably had 20 of them. I it was heavy. But what was the biggest lifesaver was I reached out to the dark energy guys and like, hey,
yeah.
here's my problem. Can you help me out with this? So they sent me their solar panel and then some of their Poseidon batteries. And I
Nice.
tell you, I was shocked. Like they actually performed really well. Because we're in the trees too, and so it's tough to get constant sunlight. But I'll throw up that little solar charger, I have like this little USB. I don't have it here, but USB USB-C battery charger for the Canon like small batteries, and it was in a
Yeah,
minute, probably like after a while, I try to remember how long it would take, but it would charge them pretty good. And then what I kind of found the strategy was use the solar panel to charge the battery banks, and then use the battery banks to charge the batteries themselves, and that worked great. Like that's how I kept my camera alive. I think after day 3 up there, I was really going through batteries quite fast, and so I was like, oh no, I got to figure
yeah,
something out. So it's worked really well. So I'd highly recommend any of the dark energy stuff to charge your batteries. That it worked. It saved me. It saved me. There would be no footage from that hunt, the last half of that hunt, if it wasn't for them. So really
yeah.
appreciate
I
those
love
guys.
those good guys and
Oh
like a
yeah, they're
good
great.
product that works. I've had mine for like 2 years now, and like I don't, there's no issues. I still rock them all the time. So
Yeah, it really is amazing. I was really impressed with their little solar panel. I was like, I've had some cheap ones, and like they take forever to like charge anything,
hmm
and like spend a few hours, like the whole Poseidon battery be fully charged. And I'm like, wow, this is actually really impressive. So they make a good product.
yeah, that's good. Um, how about your audio?
So I had the Deity. I don't know if I have them. Yeah, here it is. These things are great. These little mics. Um, I'm not sure if you have these at all, but these are fantastic. So there's the basic shotgun, but they also have the output. They have another input, so you can plug your lav mics in here, and so you get two streams
Oh,
of
nice.
audio just with the simple little shotgun mic. So it's not the greatest like quality, but if you're out in the mountains, you're really not you're really not too worried about it unless it's like a high production. So these work fantastic for that. So I had that, and then I had the DJI mics um,
Nice.
that I would use just to capture. For if we're like, oh, this sounds like elk's maybe coming in, I'll give the guys the mics and get them all mic'd up, and so that's it to capture any of like the live type of audio. So uh, that was great, and that works super well. That's that was I would recommend that for anyone. Like it's only like $40. It really is not very expensive, and then you get this two streams of audio versus having to buy something. I forget what that there's this really horrible, really horrible device that you put on your camera that kind of helps split channels of audio you can plug in, and that was just it did not work for me well at all. So I found that, and
Yeah.
that was life changing.
Nice. Dude, those the DJI mics are like game changers
They're
for
incredible.
hunting.
Yeah.
It's insane.
No
Because
wires. That's the
if
biggest
you
thing. Yeah.
exactly,
I
that's the
hate the
thing is like
wires.
if you have to like wire someone up every time you want to use your mics, like
Drop
that
it
sucks.
down, fish it through,
Yeah,
gets caught in
exactly.
something. Yeah, it's just the worst.
Yeah. I did a couple of my own hunts this year where I didn't even bring a shotgun mic. I just used the DJI mics
Hmm.
the whole time and it worked good. Like
Yeah.
the only downside is every time I'd take a video, I'd have to turn my mic on, but I had it on my Bino harness and it would just auto power on off when I stopped recording and then I just turn it on.
Oh, that's
It
cool.
wasn't that big of a deal.
So
Yeah.
did you do like internal recording? Was that your way of doing it, or did you actually do the into camera recording? Or
In the camera. Yeah.
really?
In the
So
camera.
it auto powers off? Is it the new? Are these the new ones,
So
or how?
these are the twos. So there's a setting on the receiver that will auto power on and off with the camera. And then
Ooh,
there's a setting on the actual mic with it'll auto power off, but I think it's on a timer, so it'll after a certain amount of time it auto powers off. So if you forget to turn it off, it'll automatically turn off after it's like sensed that there's no connection anymore. But then you just have to turn it back on when you start recording it.
so that's on the version twos. Is that in the version ones or no? Or
I don't know.
because I've
I
never
don't
seen
know.
this. That would be a lifesaver because I'm always having like you're always watching the batteries go down. Like when we're hunting with them, like I'm always watching the battery go down. I'm like, okay, hopefully this will survive. I'm gonna have to look into
Yeah.
that. That's really nice. Mm, that's
Yeah,
cool.
you should. And normally I would just turn it off by myself because
Hmm.
I don't know how long it takes for them to auto turn off, but there is the setting on there that does that. So it works.
And it
It's
reconnects
it's
pretty
it's
easily.
mostly best for,
Sorry.
what's that?
Oh, does it reconnect if when like turns back on and resyncs and everything too on its own?
Oh yeah. So yeah,
That's
once it like
wow.
they sync up like in like a second or two, right? It's not that long once you turn it back
Interesting.
on. Um and I have the like the receiver piece, right? I'm using it
Hmm.
right now, but this is on my
That's so cool.
camera, and then when it's connected, it just turns like I turn the camera on and it turns on, and then I turn the camera off, it turns off, which that's the biggest thing. So
That's
it's
really
pretty
nice. See,
nice.
I don't have that in the version ones. Like that's like if they did if let's say the mic dies or I turn the mic off, when I turn it back on, I have to put it back in the case to have them resync. So
Oh yeah,
that
really?
sucks. So I'm totally gonna have to buy the version two. That's a game changer already.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
sweet.
It's pretty nice. It's very nice. How was it recording like two streams of audio when you're editing? When you had because they weren't separate audio, right? They were both one
Yeah.
file, but you had
It's
lav mics and the shotgun going at the same time.
yeah. So what it does, it just does like a left. I don't know like the terms per se, but you have the left stream, the right
Oh,
stream
okay, I know what
stream.
you're talking
So
about.
it's really easy. Just
Yeah.
pan, and then if you want like you always pan, then it's the left speaker. But what you do, you just drop it down, just duplicate the audio file, and then also it's then um I forget how I do what's my trick. I forget how to do it exactly, but like I could do it just with the key my my keys. But yeah, oh, 1 second.
Yeah, you're good.
You've lost my visual.
Yeah. Do you use the EOS Connect thing, whatever it is?
The cam link. The wait,
I use like EOS webcam,
what's
but
that? I'm exposing my
we should
secrets.
talk. I wanna.
There we
Well, I was
go.
freaking. It like does not work for me very good. Is connecting my camera, but I need to figure out a better system for it. So we'll talk about that because I
To
need some
connect the
help.
camera to like for like this. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I'll shoot you some details. But yeah, so for the audio,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so it's pretty easy. Just like I said, just pan right, pan left, and then turn it into stereo, and you get that way you get both speakers. It's not just like a one-sided. But yeah, I find it really easy.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. Just requires an extra step, and then you can also just copy paste attributes from each file, and so that makes it really easy.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I've done some of that stuff a little bit with like audio splitter
Hmm.
on camera. So like I don't know, it's like an auxiliary cord that splits into two, so
Yeah.
it does just left and right. So it's a very similar system. Um, but then yeah, you just have to mess with it after in post and edit that because you
Hmm.
just have a left and a right track. So yeah, I was curious kind of how that worked for you. So
Yeah. It's really easy.
nice.
Yeah, it's the
That's good.
when you're running the cheaper setups, the little setups, you don't have the luxury of, multiple XLR inputs. And
Yeah.
I do love that. I love XLR mics. I just love them. They sound so good. And so it always just like, it's always, whenever I pull this, I'm like, it's for the right reason though.
Yeah. Are you running XLR on your big setup?
Yeah. Well, no, I wish I could, but it's
No.
just too much of a um, extra like pieces I have to get. I just run a DJI, oh not DJI, sorry, a Rode VideoMic Pro on that, and that's really great audio. So
Okay.
it's as close as you can. It's as close as you can get to an XLR for that camera. I really want to this year. I'm making a goal, New Year's resolution, get this Canon C80. That is just it's just calling my name.
Yeah.
Just, It's funny because I'll talk with Jamie. We talked about camera gear, so because obviously like, we were talking about the cameras we want to get, and like he mentioned the C80 with the um, triple base ISO, and like I had no idea that was a thing. I was gonna try to grab the C70, and now learning about that, just like I feel like every outdoorsman, like okay, we're gonna use high ISO, and like what's the best? Like Sony's great because they just have ridiculous ISO, but for us Canon
Yeah.
users, we're like okay, how can we how can we do this? So, like the C80 has like 800, 3200, and then 1280. So
Wow.
you really have a lot more flexibility when it comes to low light. So, and then that has like XLR, all the bells and whistles. It's a full on cinema camera. So, uh, yeah, I'm gonna save up for that.
Dang, that's insane. That's crazy. You texted me the other day and I didn't respond to you, but you said, "What's your dream camera setup?"
Mm.
But what's yours? Let's hear it.
Dream camera setup. I
Yeah. If you could do
C80's
anything.
C80's up there as of now. I mean, if I
Yeah.
had all the money and all the time and all like the resources, I mean, who doesn't want a red? I feel like that's a good
That's
answer.
pretty sweet.
I filmed with them before. They're a real pain though in the editing room if you don't know what you're doing. Like I was, I did not know what I
Yeah.
was doing because I just like red Komodos. Why not rent this and film something? So that was learning the editing software, and they're big files too, so you need a good computer to edit them. I had just a little laptop, and that was painful. Just every clip was skipping like 12 frames. So, uh, if I had all the resources and
Yeah.
everything, I would say like a red. That'd be so much fun. If we're sticking to practicality, I'd probably say a fully like rigged out C80 or something like that. Really nice cine camera, or like it's honestly though an FX6. Sony FX6 would be really nice,
Yeah.
or FX9. Just I go back and forth. Like I love Canon. I'm so invested in Canon lenses and everything, but there's some lenses that are just so nice that are only made for like Sony cameras, like the Tamron. Was it 35 to 140? I think something like that, and
Dang.
it's a 2.8 like constant.
Wow.
So
Oh,
it's very similar.
that's
I mean,
sick.
it's kind of like the Canon 24 to 105 2.8 they just came out with, but then you get the
Yeah.
140, which is super nice. So, yeah, that's like the only reason I wanted to go to like Sony is to grab those like unique lenses. But um, yeah, I love hunting, filming hunts. I kind of find myself going more to more I don't say scripted videos per se, but more commercial type videos. I really love
Okay.
just the process of like, okay, what's this scene? What's the lighting here? What's the story, the script, and really setting up and getting those really cool shots. I filmed hunts my whole life, and it's really kind of doing more storyboarded type videos. It's so much fun. I mean, I love the filmmaking, love the storytelling aspect of it, and doing documentaries and stuff like that and commercials. It's so much fun, and I find myself going more to those shoots where it takes a bit more planning, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So with that, like having a bigger camera setup is a bit more. It's more doable having all those bells and whistles.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's like if you're gonna do a backpack hunt, especially, or like almost any type of hunt, it's like if you get a big camera,
You're
it gets
toast.
so much harder. It's just so
you're,
much
you're
more.
dead.
Yeah. And there's
You're
guys that
gone.
do it. Yeah.
A
It's
lot of
crazy.
respect to
But
those
like, dude,
guys.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know guys who run reds like on backpack sheep hunts, like shooting for big commercial like Sitka or whatever. Like it's insane. But they do it and it works good. But you got
I
to kind of
mean,
be at that next level just
you
to
are
like.
getting an awesome quality picture from
It's
like in your
true.
best area. Yeah, you can, but I don't know if I'd have to
Yeah,
train a lot more. I'd have to train a lot more, do a lot more
yeah,
squats.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, dang.
Just batteries alone would be like
Oh no, like
insane.
I can, like when going out there, I had a thought like, could I bring my R5C with a bunch of V mounts? Do I risk that? And I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know. I don't think I would have made it. They would have left me up in the mountain.
yeah. I've debated going to V mounts before, but it just like hasn't made sense yet
Yeah,
to
if
do
you're
something to
not like doing bigger shoots, like longer shoots, you really don't need it. Like I I do a lot of like I do freelancing on the side as well, and so I'm doing a lot of like commercial style shoots, and V mounts are great for that because you can just slap a battery on there and you shoot like for like a whole day. And it's so nice. So uh, yeah, you don't need V mounts. Like they're a lot of money. They're a lot more money. So you get you pay
yeah.
for, but they're a lot more money and they're a lot bigger and bulkier and just carrying a lot around a lot more gear. So
Nice. Yeah, it's true.
have you ever done anything with like anamorphic lenses?
I haven't. No, I never
I
have.
was gonna
Have
add
you?
that into my dream setup. I love
Yeah.
anamorphic. I filmed one video for someone with anamorphic, and there's a lot more work in the editing room, but I mean it'd probably be a
Yeah.
lot easier now because I figured it out. You know, it's the first off I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but it's
Right.
such a cool look though. Because the fun thing too, it's you get your let's say you get a 50 millimeter anamorphic, you'll still get like you're just imagining a regular frame 50, you'll get this. Like that's the 50, which is awesome. You get that. But then also you get so much, you get a really wide 50 millimeter point of view. So that's where you get like the widescreen look. But so like people love the like the lens flares. That's cool. I love the whole aspect of um you're getting just you're seeing so much more. That's why I think I love wide lenses because you can see much more of the environment even if you're up close. Like I love filming with like just have a 40 millimeter cinema lens. That's so cool because you get that 50, but you also get the wideness of a wider lens, and you can just see so much more. Even when you get close to someone's face, there's so much more detail. It's not like not not like a long focal length where you kind of just squishing everything. And so the
Yeah.
anamorphic is so nice because you get the focal length of a 50, but with I think of width or like the full width of like a 24. So you get those same attributes with the extra view. I don't know. It's so cool. I love the look. It's so cinematic. It feels like a movie. It's so cool.
Yeah. That's cool. That's way cool.
hmm
I haven't messed around with them, but I should.
Yeah. I think
I've
yeah,
watched a bunch of videos on them and stuff. It's just, but
yeah.
I've never really thought about buying one.
Yeah, I love the Suray branded ones. They're great, but I think like anything, they're manual focus, so it's always a pain. Use like anything, but they just came out with a autofocused 40 millimeter anamorphic.
Wow.
I really want to try that out. So we'll see if I rent
Dang.
it. I'll let you know.
What's the price point on all of this?
It really isn't that bad. I think it's like $800 or 600 to 800
That's not
bucks,
bad
which
at all.
is like I feel like any lenses that are under $1,500, I feel like I think of them as like super affordable. I'm like, oh wow, it's $1,000
Yeah.
lens. That's
Oh,
really
for sure.
affordable.
It's true though.
It's true. Like if you want to get the Canon 7200 2.8, that's an arm and a leg. It's three grand.
Yeah,
That's painful.
I know. It's crazy how, but I mean, they were good.
hmm Yeah.
So
Well, what's your dream setup?
sometimes it's
What's your
justifiable.
dream camera setup? I didn't hear that answer yet. I don't think.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's hard to say. There's things kind of that I would look for, and one big one is internal NDs. Like that'd be
Oh
so
man,
rad
that's the other
just to have
thing I
that.
forgot to mention. Yeah,
Oh, dude. Yeah. So
having
like
like getting
those
like
that comes in
unscrewing
like
it.
FX6. Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah. Right.
horrible.
Yeah. So like FX6 has that. The FX9 has that. I think the
Yep.
C80 does have that. I'm pretty
hmm
sure. I don't know for sure, but yeah, does it have
C70,
that?
C80, yeah, they have
Um,
it. Yeah,
yeah. And Jamin has told me a bunch about like the C80. He's like
yeah. I
in
think that's
love
his
with
thing.
it. He's
He's
like,
really invested in that
yeah, he
now.
really wants it, which I don't blame him. It's pretty sweet. I just haven't been in the market for cameras for a new camera just because of like finances
hmm
and life right now, right?
Yeah,
But
feel ya.
I I used to really want that FX6, and I probably would still get it because it's a sweet
Mhm.
camera, and you just get a
Yeah,
lot
it's really cool.
in a reasonably sized body, and then you just have to get batteries and lenses, and you're good to go.
hmm
Um,
Yeah, yeah. It has the XLRs. Plug in a
yep,
plug in a mic. It goes right to it. Like you don't have to have a lot of extra accessories or pieces to do what you need. Like on a R6, you have everything built in.
exactly. So just
Yeah.
kind of moving towards that more streamlined thing type of camera,
hmm
just make that makes life easier, but also produces a better picture. And so,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. And I would not be opposed to lugging one of those around, either a C80 or FX6. I could do it, especially with like the experience I have. And so
hmm
I think it'd be fun. But it's just that price point that kind of like stops most
Yeah.
people, honestly,
Well, at
from
the
getting
same
that.
time, like you don't like, wow, like you think I could sell an R6 or one of your cameras, but at the same time, like I don't really want to sell a camera. I kind of want to hang on to it too, like for photos and all
Yeah,
that. Like
right.
exchange a photo camera for a film camera, like could work, but also at the same time, I don't want to give up that photo part of me.
Yeah. Well, that's a hard part too, is that half of my stuff is photos and half of it's video. So if
Yeah.
I'm giving up I'm giving up photo if I'm buying just a video camera.
hmm
So
Yeah. So true. And
it's
then you
kind
gotta
of
carry two
tough.
cameras.
Exactly. Which I've done,
Yeah. Yeah.
but two it's different. But like I'm carrying an R5 and R6 versus
Yeah.
a big cinema camera and then a video camera or a photo
Yeah.
camera. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel
it's
like
definitely
the
different.
solution to that is if you are working with a team, if you're a solo hunter like in a small project, you're the only man. Like for me, like
Yeah,
looking into this year, like especially for Fleet and just trying to expand our creative side, I already am planning out. Okay, I'd love taking both photos and videos, but I have to pick one. Like if we're going to like a big project, I have to pick one. And as a creative, that's really tough because I want to do both. I want to take cool photos and take cool video, but learning to, you know, maybe hire someone who maybe better at me at photo or better at video than me, and working as a team to accomplish a goal and to film or capture a project. Uh, that's kind of what I'm learning. If you really want to, at least on the professional side, uh, if you're just like a hobbyist, like do whatever you want. But on the professional side of projects, you really have to designate one or the other to someone. I mean, I'll still snap a few photos. I already know that, but like if you're trying to designate, sorry, one sec, I'm getting calls in, designate work. That's I think you just have to do. You just have to give it to one person. So yeah, it's a sad reality though.
Yeah, it's true. And I will say, like, when you're one of the nice things about filming a hunt is that you have so much time. Like,
Mm,
you can take some time and take some photos here and there, and then do some videos, and you can still capture everything. Um, but when it comes down to like that moment, like you kind of got it. Like if you're making a film, you're not going to get a photo of like the moment. You're going to be trying to video it, right? Like
yeah,
someone shooting an elk or something. Like that's a sick photo, but you have to video it because if you don't
yeah.
video it, that
You have one
you don't have
option.
the story.
You have one
Exactly.
option. Don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having
Yeah.
like a second person to capture those is really nice. And I've only done a few like projects where you have someone that's taking photos and video, and it's really nice because also it's great. You get the photos of yourself, which is super rare as a
Yeah.
creator. We never get photos of ourselves, so it's always fun
It's
to
true.
have.
Yeah, that's so true. Nice. Is there anything else you wanted to cover on the podcast?
Trying to think.
We could talk forever about camera stuff,
Gosh,
but
we could. And the funny thing too, that would probably be amazing, like content wise on YouTube. People like, oh yeah, that camera, debate that camera. And so
yeah,
the endless debate.
yeah.
Let's see. What's your plan for this next year? Do you have a plan for the hunt? Like hunts you want to go on, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's a
What
good
do you think?
question. I've got a few nailed down already. Spring bear hunt for sure. That's like every
Ooh,
year.
nice.
So April, May timeframe. We're gonna do. I got a hunt lined up already. Um, we're gonna do the same archery mule deer hunt as last year. I think Jamin's gonna get a tag, and we're actually gonna
Oh,
hunt it
sweet.
together.
Yeah, I
So
still
that'll be
have
exciting.
I still got your photo on the catalog.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite photos.
yeah. Dude, that was such a fun hunt, and
That was
it was
awesome.
cool that you guys got to like be a part of that too. Um, so that was fun. I'm definitely gonna do some archery, deer, and elk throughout like September. Um, I have a couple like for sure dates lined up for stuff with some buddies and my dad's. I'm trying to find him a bow because he hasn't bow hunted in years, but he's always wanted to get back into it. And like last year, I found, or this I guess this last season, I found a epic spot for elk hunting, so I want to take him there and try to get him an elk with his
That'd be
bow.
so cool.
So that'll be fun. And then whatever, like we might get some draw hunts there here and there too. Especially my wife, I put her in for stuff every year, and then rifle season. But that those are kind of the big ones for myself. Pretty much October, November, December will probably just be like filming for other people.
Mm.
But that early season stuff is really what I like. The archery season, like
That's
I
what
can't beat
archery is
that.
so
So
much fun. Yeah.
it's so much fun. Yeah. What about you?
I'm still so that's the process right now. It's trying to plan everything out. So like really trying to do a lot more long format productions, at least for Fleet, and
Nice.
do more maybe not more documentary like videos, but every hunt that we do I want to make it some sort of film with the story. It's not just a hunt.
Yeah.
Um, really tap into the story aspect because that's what people love. People love the emotion, the story, the purpose, the driven like the purpose that drives the person, like the protagonist you're watching. Um, that's kind of what I'm leaning more towards for these hunts. So have a lot of things on the table. I love to do. I think me and the same guys I hunted with on the elk hunt. I think we're trying to do maybe another elk hunt or maybe a like Montana mule deer. We have someone uh, in there out there who's who might give us an opportunity. So maybe like a landowner tag something like that. So that's a dream hunt of mine. I'd like my dream hunt's like it looks like archery pronghorn or a mule deer. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Uh, that'd be a ton of fun. We'll see what happens. We'll see if that comes together because that would be great. I got to start training my bow though. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Even if like the pronghorn hunt would be so much fun to know, like, okay, that's a maybe a 60, 70 yard shot, maybe further. We'll see. Like, so I'm like, okay, I
Right.
gotta
Oh
get
yeah.
good, but gotta get good at that. But then I think like maybe there's a possibility we could do a like a Alaska moose hunt. Um, uh, I won't tell all the
That'd be
details.
cool.
That's still up in the air. Like, but that could be a really really cool story. We have this really incredible guy with an awesome story that and the opportunities like once in a lifetime. So I can't spill all the beans, of course, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it would be an ridiculously incredible story. So that's an awesome opportunity. Then of course Tennessee, do some deer hunting here, maybe it's like Illinois hunt. Oh, and then maybe like a duck hunt. I did my first duck hunt. I guess I missed that. I did a duck hunt in Wisconsin for the first time of my life, and that was so much fun. I shot two
Nice.
ducks, missed dozens more, but it was really
Yeah.
cool because you're just chilling, you're talking, just like normal voice, you're just moving around. And you're like, oh, here comes the ducks, and he's quiet, and like, gotta be still, and then they fly over you and just blast them, and that was amazing. Took some incredible photos, and I'm like, this duck hunting is the real deal for content creation because you just move around as much as you want, get cool angles, kind of in the same spot. You're moving around, you're on the water. There's so much texture and light and movement. It's really really cool. Like we were kayaking around, we were canoeing around, and we got so many cool photos. And that was more just a fun hunt. That was just like I didn't have filmed that just for fun. So but I still took my camera and took photos just because I wanted to, because I could never like live with myself. I want to hunt and didn't photograph it. That'd be probably the
Yeah.
worst experience of my life. Seeing all these cool spots,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can't believe I didn't bring my camera. But yeah, that was so. I think
Yeah.
we'll try to do
Exactly.
another one like that. Maybe Wisconsin. I have a buddy in Washington who's duck hunted there for most of his life. So yeah, we'll see what the fall holds, but a lot of it's up in the air. Still have to make like full decisions on them. And then we're releasing a ton of new products here at Fleet. So all the production that goes into that, and all the work that goes into that as well. So it's gonna be a pretty
Yeah.
awesome year though.
Nice. That's gonna be cool, dude.
Yeah.
Last thing, and then let's wrap it up. How
Yeah.
is the lead? What's going on? Is there any cool things you can talk about?
Yeah, we're working on a ton of new projects. So we're trying to like in a way revamp all our stuff. So we are I'm trying to think what you have. So also for one example, you have like the light puffy jacket, the tailwind, the one you went in
Yep.
the photo. We're gonna do a full rehaul of all our puffy stuff. So um, lightweight puffy jacket in all our. We're coming off the new camo pattern too, more of a digital dark pattern. I'll text you a picture so you can see it.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's a
Sweet.
digital, like very flat, neutral colored pattern. And then we are doing everything in our two original patterns that we have, and then all solid colors. So our gray, like gunmetal gray, forest green, and cloudy brown. So everything going forward is going to be in all those six colorways, which is really fun. Gives them more options for mismatching and creating your stone style. Uh,
Yeah.
Trying to do some more. We're really trying to push more. We feel like we've completed deer hunting market clothing. Like we've made it. We've done enough. So really want to try to do more for the I don't want to say just Western, but more clothing for all hunters, whether you're in Florida or if you're in Montana or wherever, just clothing that works for everybody. So that's gonna take time, of course, because I gotta test it out and see what people like, but yeah, trying to new pants, more merino style, merino clothing. Trying to think what else we have. Probably after I get off this call, I'll realize, oh yeah, I should talk about that. But I can't. Can't think off the top of my head though. Can't remember. Oh well, but it's a lot of cool gear though. A lot of cool gear.
Nice. That's
But
cool.
yeah,
It's exciting.
so pretty cool stuff. And we'll send you some
Heck yeah,
stuff
dude.
if you for you to test out. I'm already planning on that. Some of the Western style stuff. I'd love for you to get your thoughts, and even from this past hunt too. I think I could connect with you more. And I think you mentioned we mentioned some stuff, but I'd love to hear more about you know your thoughts on the gear and how we can make it better. Because it's made for the deer hunter, the Midwest deer hunter. So it like I wore it elk hunting, worked great, but I thought I could see some things like, oh, that probably could be better for at least for the Western style hunter. It could improve on this. So we're always, we don't we like to say we have to sell the best clothing, and we always are in for improvement though, because one thing can work great for someone, and this at the same time it can't do that. So, uh, yeah, it's a constant. Trying to make stuff better, of course, like fabrics and everything that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's pretty cool.
It's a
I like the
process.
whole process of stuff. Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's funny because people
that's cool,
always
dude.
say like, "Oh,
Well,
why didn't you
that'll be
make this
fun. I'm
jacket?"
excited to
Yeah,
kind of see.
sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Go for it.
I was gonna say like people always say like, "Oh, why you should do this in a jacket?" And like, yeah, it takes time because we have to like first off like the process, like the idea. Oh, here's an idea. Then we have to bring it in and build the whole jacket pattern, like each panel, the stitching, how's it all go together, where are the stretch points, and then you have to send it off to our manufacturers. Like, can you make us a prototype? And then they'll make it, send it back to us, and then we'll have to inspect it, then share with them the changes and ideas, and then they have to make that next one, and then we inspect it, and then like, okay, this is good. Then we have to make a whole batch, and then we have to ship to us. So it's funny being like in the clothing industry, and I'm such a nerd now on fabrics. I'll walk in a store like, oh, that's that fabric, that's that stitching, and just understanding how much effort it goes into planning clothing. Like even like seeing like all these other clothing companies release jackets and stuff, and like they probably have a smoother, a smoother way of doing it in their way. But and we're always just trying to figure out and improve. But it takes a lot of effort and time, and it really have to invest a lot into it. So, but it's really cool. It's a fun process. I love it. I get to try out new awesome clothes all the time and be the part of the process, which is the best thing.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. That's cool. That's way cool. Well, good, dude. We can chat for a sec after, but we'll
Yeah.
wrap it up. Thanks everyone for hopping on, listening. Gabe, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram. Gabe Stoll Photo is my Instagram handle. I don't post as much on there as I should. I should post on there. I'm just so busy though. I got a YouTube
Oh yeah,
channel that has oddly enough taken off on weird random videos I've made like 3 years ago. So go watch those videos. It helps out. But yeah, just follow Fleet. We posting stuff constantly. If you want to see my work, that's where you can see most of it. Um, yeah, photos, videos, anything. And we have an awesome team.
sweet, awesome, dude. Thanks for coming
Cool.
on.
Thanks for having me on.